HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that thumbs up with your host, Komp, and
Orphan Annie.
And today's film is
Of Unknown Origin, 1983.
Of Unknown Origin, 1983. A man becomes destructively obsessed with killing a dangerous rat, which has taken residence in his recently renovated house. Directed by George P. Cosmatos. I think that's Greek, actually. Written by Chauncey G. Parker III, Brian Taggart, starring Peter Weller, Jennifer Dale, and Lawrence Dane. So let me get this joke out of the way. This is a joke, a classic joke I used on one of our older episodes, but I don't know if people would listen to our old episodes.
Tell us the joke.
Although somebody did, just letting you know, somebody recently listened to our Sweet Alice episode. And they said, "Oh, the way the people talk about this movie, it's like you might as well call it three people that never watched the movie and are just reading about it." And I was like, "That's the whole point of the show, is that we talk about movies we don't know." And then I was like, "Did you really listen?" Anyway, here, let me get out this old joke, this old classic joke.
You should find out who that person is and write them a mean letter.
I took my time to write a reply on the YouTube because I'm sure it all matters. So, this is a classic joke from one of the older episodes. What would RoboCop say if he was a part-time necrophiliac? Don't answer. You're supposed to just say what. So, what would RoboCop say if he was a part-time necrophiliac?
What?
Dead or alive, I'm coming in you. Oh boy, do I make myself laugh. Anyway, so this movie I picked Of Unknown Origin because I'd seen it in a bunch of. I was looking for obscure horror that I haven't seen.
This is obscure. I've never seen.
So George P. Cosmatos, he actually was like a pretty prolific '80s director. He did Rambo: First Blood Part 2. I guess that's the one where they.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's the one where they were like they took Rambo as like a serious drama about a vet, and they turned it into like a killing machine movie. He did Leviathan, which I think was sort of like it's like an underwater horror film. He did Cobra, so a lot of Stallone stuff, and then he did Tombstone, which is
Tombstone I actually saw in theaters.
Me too, I did it too. Fantastic cowboy film. One of the I don't like cowboy movies myself. It's just not my genre that I like, but that is
That's where like Sam Elliott got pretty well known, I think.
Yeah, and Val Kilmer is fantastic in it, and obviously it also has Kurt Russell. It has Bill Paxton, right? Yeah, and it just has Stephen Lang.
It has Michael Biehn in it.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets fucked up by Val Kilmer at the end. Sorry, Doc Holliday. Spoiler alert
of a 20-year-old
And it was
movie.
it's disgustingly graphic in that scene too. But anyway. So that's George P. Cosmatos. I believe his son is now a director. His son is the one that directed Mandy, if I'm to be sure.
Cool.
So good for him. So he's got at least some talent running through him from his father. But anyway, so this film with Peter Weller, obviously.
To the boy.
Wait a minute, what? So anyway, Peter Weller is playing this. This movie does some sort of not technobabble, but it goes into like Wall Street or whatever kind of territory. It's this sort of in the 80s when people would just say they're rich.
Some kind of cocaine executive. That's all you need to know.
Some sort of executive, right? I had the same issue with this movie that I just recently I'll review in October called Mosquito State. It's about like Wall Street guys. They can just say shit, and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So it's that kind of.
I don't think anyone knows what they're talking about, even them. That's why they need to be bailed out with my fucking taxes.
So this guy, Peter Weller, he is playing Bart. Sorry, I'm like trying to get to the IMDb. He lives with his wife, and this is like the movie that introduced Shannon Tweed, and it's essentially just showing Shannon Tweed nude for no reason. Like she didn't.
Oh, okay.
Shannon Tweed was very beautiful woman.
She's really not in the movie very much.
No, she's just there to like show her breasts in like the opening shower scene. She literally is there just to be like beautiful, and she is. She's a beautiful woman, And I think she married to what's his name? The guy from Kiss, I think. Is it him? Yeah, she is. She's married to
Gene Simmons.
Married to Gene Simmons. Speaking of, I didn't mean to go like.
Do you think his tongue is really that long?
Yeah, it is. That's why he's such a Lothario. But you know, it's funny. Like when you and I don't know what to talk about a movie, we'll always find something to drag the episode out to like 40 minutes. But we won't do it for this one. But there was Gene Simmons, because Gene Simmons is like a rock star because he's part of Kiss. A lot of people hate Kiss. I'm not really into Kiss.
I don't really have an opinion.
Right.
I don't care.
They did a great song at the end of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I
like
actually
their aesthetic.
Yeah, the cool aesthetic. I saw that they had a live concert on TV once, and I was just watching it, and I found out that I just didn't change any channels because it was entertaining. So that's got to say something about Kiss. But then they also like merchandise everything because they're smart businessmen, and they actually sell a Kiss coffin and everything. But anyway, back to Gene Simmons. He got into trouble with his wife a little bit because there was a sex tape released of him at his age, you know, like when he was in his, I guess, late 50s. And he's like fucking
could be older than that.
Right, yeah, probably 60s maybe. And he's fucking some groupie, and there's some part where he's trying to kiss her on the... you're mounting someone, right? What they call the mating press, you know, when you're casual, you know, the sex...
I don't want to picture this guy's like 70. I don't
right.
want to picture this.
But then he's like trying to kiss her in the mouth, and she's just like moving her face left and right. Would that be a gigantic boner killer for you or what? Like,
yeah, of course it would.
Can you imagine that?
I'd be self-conscious that my breath smells.
Oh, well, we would hope it was just a breath smell. If a girl actually finds you so grotesque that she won't even kiss you. I've heard about that after me. Like some girl made out with me and then she wrote on MySpace how it creeped her out, and I was like, wow, this is pretty bad. So, enough of my shame. This film has Peter Weller as as Bart Hughes. Also, by the way, I'm just taking that as my idea because I have such a low self-esteem. I assumed she was talking about me. Peter Weller is this guy who's a businessman, lives with his wife and his little son. His son is his son.
It's weird seeing him not dressed in a metal suit.
Yeah, right. His son Peter, and they live in this big renovated house. His wife and his son they're gonna take 2 weeks off to go with her dad somewhere else, I guess, like, because her father's obviously very rich, because he was like, her father was going to pay for his
honestly, if I was married to someone whose father was super rich, and they kept saying, hey, we'll just give you money, I'd be like, okay, like,
no, but these are white people. They care about that stuff, you know, they care about not being...
I'm sort of a white people. I mean, I am a white people.
Well,
I'm a Jew, but like the thing is, well, actually, that's my driving force. So as a Jew, I want other people's money. So I would be happy to take the father's money.
So Peter Weller has to deal with some... He usually does one type of thing with his job, but they have him doing another thing, but it's a little more tougher, so he has to spend 2 weeks.
It doesn't matter. He's got some business thing
job,
that he has 2 weeks to do.
So his wife and his kid are out of the film for the most part. They're see him taking phone calls, and what happens is he has to deal with a pesky rat. Imagine if this was like
it's like that Nathan Lane movie, Mouse Hunt.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, this is like
a horrible version.
This is like, you know how when Blumhouse did Fantasy Island, they made it a horror movie. This is like if Blumhouse did Mouse Hunt. And it wasn't like funny; they just made it dark and serious.
But I like the end of that because the mouse figures out how to make string cheese.
Does he? Does he eat it?
Yeah, and then they turn a business out of it, and the mouse is like making the cheese with.
And he becomes friends with the two guys trying to kill him throughout the whole movie. And then like he realizes he can become sentient and he can make money, so then he shits in their food and they die of rat poison or whatever the fuck.
That would be cool.
So Peter Weller decides to start seeing inklings of rat stuff in his house, and I'm sure if he saw the rat taking cheese from him, he'd be like, "Drop it!" See, because that's a RoboCop joke. So this movie is essentially Jaws, but with a rat, and there's never really. It doesn't feel like a life-threatening movie. I guess sometimes.
It's like aggravating.
It really, but I mean,
every time they show a close-up of the rat's face, I feel like a rage go through me. I do.
Because here's the thing: from New York City, if you're from New York City, you've dealt. Danny used to be from New York City. Oh, I guess you still used to be from New York City.
I'm a New Yorker, just because I'm living in Spain.
And it's about rat, a giant fucking rat. The rat's the size of a fucking cat or something. It's gigantic.
I mean, it's obviously an abnormally large rat, but like, I've seen rats on the subways that are very big. I mean,
oh yes, because I know, like, it was funny when Danny and I texted Danny about the movie, and he was like, later on he said, "Oh, that this fucking rat movie," and I was like, "Oh, does he hate the movie?" And then I was like, but then when I saw the movie, I was like, "Yeah, this fucking rat it drove me insane because it's not." The thing with the film, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's not particularly a spectacular film, but
apparently they got very bad ratings.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job at making you want to kill this fucking rat. Because the rat started out. It's basically a rat coming into your house, chewing up. Like it really does. The dog ate my homework shit too. Like it takes it personally.
It ate his check. Yeah. Remember the one they tried to pay the exterminator with? Like I imagine so angry.
I can imagine the rat just looks at it and reads the name, and they just decided to.
I mean, this rat is obviously like somewhat sentient.
Yeah, it's definitely a smart rat. Well, because it's like, I guess, Jaws 2. I never saw any. I actually don't think I've seen any Jaws.
I never saw any of the sequels because I heard they were bullshit. Like I don't.
But I know one of them was one of the. I was gonna say dinosaur, but I guess it essentially is the size of a dinosaur. One of the sharks was getting revenge for the first Jaws getting killed. So that was. I assume that's what this is about too. Like it's just like. I'm sure there are animals that have vengeance in them if you kill their young, right?
Probably dolphins and stuff are really smart. So
because in this movie, when Bart is fucking around, he accidentally kills her babies. Like they fall down a storm drain, and she goes berserk, and she's like, "Well, I got it for you, you fuck, you pink bastard."
Yeah, but could you imagine those babies growing into 10 more of her? Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. What did you? I gotta say, at the beginning of the film, I was like, oh no, when they showed like the shadow of the rat, it's the worst fucking shit. Thank God they drop it, but at the beginning it's literally they had like a spotlight and they put a paper mache rat and moved it back and forth because it didn't even move like a fucking rat.
I think they did okay graphics of the rat.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying the first two times
it was all practical for sure.
Yeah, and they put like some sort of oil or glycerin on the rat for close-ups. It's really disgusting. God,
yeah, when it would show its foot going on surfaces, it's like, ugh.
Like if you hate rats and shit, like this is.
I'm not scared of rats or mice at all. But
I jump whenever I see them with a big pussy.
I mean, I've never had a rat in my apartment, but I've had mice in my apartment because I'm from New York, and it's not like pleasant, and like it's a little creepy the idea that they could go under your door and climb on you when you're sleeping, but like roaches.
That happened to me when I was young. I woke up with a mouse on top of me, and I shrieked.
I mean, it would be like. I'd be scared, but like it's not like I'm not like terrified. Like a roach, those fucking water bug things, which I've had infestations of, those things scare the shit out of me. Like a mouse or a rat is like it's a mammal.
Did it remind you of like a Creep Show or something when they kept climbing out of that guy and shit?
This is kind of like that movie. I was thinking of that a few times.
No, yeah, I was expecting him to like be on the floor and then just
the rat rises out of him like Alien or something.
I felt bad because I remember watching this, and I remember one time I had accidentally killed a rat. Well, I guess I was trying to kill the rat, but I had it like it was.
You had a rat in your apartment?
Well, it was a mouse or something. I guess it was probably a mouse.
I mean, there's a big difference. A mouse is like
right. So the mouse jumped on this. The mouse jumped on the glue trap, and so I took like a pussy because the mouse is still alive. I took a stick on the glue part of it to transport the glue trap. You know what I mean? Out.
Yeah.
But obviously the glue trap worked so well that it was stuck to the broom, and I wasn't gonna try to reach it, so I kept shaking. I feel like I'm gonna have to edit this story out, so I'm not gonna tell the end of it. Anyway, So this gigantic rat. Really, I actually liked. They did a great job when they did the close-ups of the hands, on top of like the glass. Like
I mean, they obviously used real rats too. Like,
and there's like a gruesome scene when he's looking at the history of rats and shit, and they show like people that I guess had passed away, and the rats eat their face off, and it's like actual photos, and I was like, oh my god, it's like grotesque. And then they show like footage. Obviously, PETA had nothing to do with this because there's like footage of a fucking. Rats inside of a lab and they're just eating each other. Like they're
so ridiculous though.
Well, yeah, they kill more dogs than kill shelters do. I heard.
I just saw a post from PETA and they were trying. Like I understand what they're doing and I support some of their messages, but like they were trying to say that taking off a sheep's wool. They were trying to make that seem like cruelty. It's like that's good for them though. Like,
yeah, there's people like that. There's a woman called the Vegan Teacher or something on YouTube.
Yeah.
She does that where she's yelling about fucking.
It's like they're not killing them for their wool, and they actually need it because if you don't, then they get like weighed down by their own wool.
The only
Well,
good
anyway,
time
whatever.
the only time like I can appreciate their message, but I always hear there's something like spooky about it. It's sort of like a lot of people have issues with. I forget there's this corporation that deals with autistic people, but they
Hmm.
do bad shit. The only time PETA did any good thing is I'd rather go naked than wear fur advertisements back then. So
Okay.
you Google those up. They have one with Eva Mendes,
Ooh.
fantastic. They yeah, just look it up. It's fantastic. They got who's the other girl? They did one with David Cross. Good for him.
Really? Ooh.
He's standing and his buttocks is exposed. There was one girl,
That's great.
Charlotte something. Anyway, very good. But go look up. I'd rather go naked than wear fur. Those are fantastic. So
Okay.
this fucking rat, yikes!
It's horrible. Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
It
You feel
really
so
is.
bad for the guy, and he's like losing his mind.
Yeah. So wait, what did you think about? I thought Peter Weller was fucking great in this movie. I
Yeah, he's
understand
great.
why. I understand why he was RoboCop, though. You know what I mean? Like there's something inhuman about Peter Weller that I
He's
can't
good
put my finger on.
at playing a crazy person.
Like Rutger Hauer, he has the same qualities that Rutger Hauer has, where he's like
Okay.
he's a leading man, but he's also sort of like a fucking cyborg or something.
Rutger Hauer always feels like a little evil to me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Hey, did you know that they're making just going off a little bit because Rutger Hauer was the original inspiration for Lestat de Leoncourt for the Vampire
Hmm.
Chronicles? Guess who's playing Louis in the Vampire Chronicles, the TV show coming?
Wait, they're doing that?
They're doing a TV
Really?
series. Yeah, yeah. Guess
Oh,
who's playing Louis?
cool.
Take a guess.
Is it Rutger Hauer?
No, it would be a big
He'd
fucking
be a
problem
little
if it was
old.
Rutger. He's also dead.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay.
it would be it's a Grey Worm from Grey Worm,
Wait.
the guy with no penis from
Oh,
Lord.
Fiat, really? Okay.
Yeah, they
That
because
could be good.
yeah, I think so too. Because I think a lot of people were getting upset, obviously, because they're replacing a white actor with
Theon Greyjoy.
no, not Theon Greyjoy. I'm talking about Grey Worm, not Reek. I'm talking about the dude who had no penis that was or no balls, the one that was dating Missandei.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem because they were trying to figure out.
Was that his name, Grey Worm? I forgot that.
Wasn't
Okay.
it? Yeah. Anyway,
I guess
so
it
he's
was,
gonna
yeah.
be. So I'm okay with it. You know how there's people who's flipping out already.
Oh, I'm sure
because-
there's a lot of people freaking out. Oh, he's black. Like,
Yeah,
who
because
gives
it's
a
also
fuck?
like people that own. It was white guys that owned slaves. So obviously maybe they're trying to go around that or something like that. But either way, that's. I'm looking forward to that show because I know I
If they
couldn't.
do it properly, it'll be good.
I
Who
hope so.
cares?
I think originally it was supposed to be Anne Rice and her son writing the
I
script.
read.
So
I read.
I didn't realize she
Didn't
wrote
she
the
become-
fucking movie.
She became like a born again Christian. I thought.
I think so too, but I don't know how that affected her books. I know one of her books was Lestat drinking vagina period blood. So
Yeah, that
good
was
for
in
him.
there.
I'm sure they'll put that in the show. I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Well, that's like book 5 or something at that point. I read the first like 7 or something.
Jeez. There's also another Ramses book coming out. Anyway, back to this film, and also one more for PETA.
Yeah, we should talk about this film.
Look up Charlotte Ross for PETA. But then also, if you want a guy, I'm sure there's plenty of muscular nude men. I realize there's women that listen to the show and they're disgusted by us. Anyway, so I think Peter Weller's great. I think he wanted to have a different career, but it just never.
You think?
Yeah, I think once after he did RoboCop.
He was an art historian, apparently.
Yeah, he's a very learned guy. I listened to an episode of Malton on Movies, I think it was, with Leonard Malton interviewing, and he's like a fascinating dude because he's really into jazz and he has a jazz band, I believe.
Cool.
But like he tried out for other jobs, but I mean, to other films. But I think they just once he was
He's good at
RoboCop,
what
I
he
think they
does,
just
that's
he's
it.
a very good actor, and he was also in Dexter.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure you're excited that we're going to be going back to doing Dexter again.
Oh boy. I have very conflicted.
Hey,
feelings about
it has this guy in it. That guy, that very good actor. I can't think of the name of his. The guy
Oh,
who
you're
played
right.
Lex
This
Luthor.
is great. The Charlotte Ross. Huh?
Yeah. So if there's also AFI is a male singer who's nude for PETA. So there you go. Look for guys for that. Anyway, so I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I thought.
Did you feel it was scary at all?
I think if I was fucking terrified of rats, which I kind of am, there were certainly parts where it kept me on edge. That I'll say.
Yeah,
Like,
it was definitely creepy.
Like, I didn't think the rat was gonna go and like. I was glad like it didn't attack the woman friend of his. You know, the lady that he has like some sort of dad.
Oh yeah, I totally expected it to.
Yeah, but the rat like was just like out for him. It wasn't out for anybody
I felt
else.
really bad for the cat. I expected it.
Yeah, I forgot about the cat. Yeah, it fucking really fucked up that cat. It was like a fucked up Tom and Jerry or something like that. And then also like, why did he cheat on his wife with that? I guess whatever. She was a pretty lady, I guess. But you know, Shannon too.
That's not a good excuse to cheat on someone.
No cheating, people. Stop it. Yeah, I his like, I don't know where that switch was. Why he decided to go crazy? You know what I mean? I don't know if that was.
I think he was overwhelmed with work.
Yeah, I think so too. Right.
Then his wife was gone, and he was a little unhappy with her relationship, and then this rat just set him off.
Yeah.
And it was his new place too. Which you know who I really liked was the janitor guy. He was cool.
I was pissed that motherfucker just walked into his house like nothing. You know when he's downstairs all fucked up?
They were friends.
What kind of friend is that?
I think he helped him like build it or something. I mean, they were friends.
I thought it was okay. The movie was fine. It's not something where you're gonna be going crazy, going, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just saw this rat." It went nuts.
Yeah, this isn't like a groundbreaking movie, but it's very frustrating. Holy
it's
shit.
not like one of those There's an Italian exploitation movie called Rats, where it's about just rats. Like, it's in the far future where these people.
They should have had like Willard, the guy that could talk to rats.
Imagine he just comes in and becomes like a semi-sequel, side sequel. But we got to do Rats one day too. That's because the ending is fucking hilarious. But okay. So yeah, I thought it was solid. I think Peter Weller, like, the whole movie is just lynching on Peter Weller's performance of a guy losing his mind.
Yeah, if he wasn't a good actor, this movie would not work.
Oh no, it would be awful. But
there's nothing else to it. There's no script. It's just like a fucking guy getting harassed by.
And aesthetically, like, he looks cool when he brings out that jacket. You know, he comes out of like his rat killer suit at the end, and he makes this bat that has like fucking giant rat traps on it and stuff like that.
Every time the rat jumps on him, and it's like, kill it now! Like,
that's
I'm getting so angry.
It's sort of like you get with that stuff, like when people get killed by Chucky in his movies. Like, you can just pick up Chucky and step on him, but then you can't do it in the movie because here it's a giant rat. It's like the size of a small dog. Like, and you can pick a dog
up. It's like a Chihuahua rat.
Right, you can pick a Chihuahua up, and I'm not advocating this. You can smash a Chihuahua on the fucking floor, which you can do with this.
If that thing was on my back, I would jump off my feet and land right on it. Like,
exactly. So it is frustrating in that sense, but I think it does a really good job at making you want to kill this fucking rat. And it's
there were points where I was like getting ready to like throw my computer and shit. Like, as I'm watching it,
it's upsetting because you just like, kill this fucking rat. Just kill this rat. So Danny's phrasing of that fucking rat movie is correct because you will be so upset with this fucking rat.
And his poor apartment. I mean, he just built it by hand.
Because the rat, like, if you look at it, the rat is just trying to survive. But this rat at the beginning,
that rat is not just trying to survive. That rat is
being an asshole, right? No, but I'm saying in the beginning, you know, when it has its babies and stuff, it's trying to survive.
It doesn't have to have its babies in his house. It could have it in the sewer.
Yeah. So, but after that, it's all game on for Peter Weller to go all RoboCop on this fucking rat.
I feel like that was it's meant to represent like his punishment for being like this Wall Street guy who thinks his big house is like so special or something.
So this is Vincent Canby this is from Wikipedia. Vincent Canby of the New York Times had nothing but disdain for the movie, but lightly praised Weller's performance and opens his review. Peter Weller, one of our best young stage and screen actors, is not at all bad in a rather terrible Canadian suspense horror film mysteriously titled Of Unknown Origin. So I guess a lot of people just did not like this.
So it's not a New Yorker who made this. It's a Canadian movie. It
was a nice house, but at the very end, like, his wife was pretty okay for him to say that was a party.
Dude, I would live in that house. Are you kidding?
I would live in it after he destroyed that fucking house. I'm like, I'm okay. I'll live in here.
Yeah, that destroyed house is like worth more than any apartment I've ever lived in.
It had some pretty cool nightmare scenes when the kid starts drinking the poison and shit like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
When the rat attacks the mom, it's cool. Like, I was like, when that shit happened. But anyway, I thought it was. But it
wasn't. That was not the era for that sort of darkness in a movie.
Yeah, anybody who hates rats, I think you'd be like, or anybody who wants to see a rat get killed into hell. It doesn't get killed into hell into this, but it's a satisfying ending for me at least. And
Yeah, I was very happy when it died.
yes, I was very happy. I was like, yeah, like I was like pumping my fist, like, yes, this is great.
Yes, yeah, me too. I was like at a football game or something.
So
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's more satisfying ending in a horror film than most horror films. So what rating would you give of Unknown Origin, 1983?
I guess it's not like good, but it's not. I give it like seven, a 7 out of 10. Um, Being harassed by a rat for like 2 weeks and just completely snapping, and now you're dressed in like some kind of weird body suit so that you can destroy your whole house while trying to kill the rat with Lucille the Bat.
I think that they should do this movie right with today's technology. They should just replace like Peter Weller, put him in RoboCop CGI, and then turn the rat into a little Ed 209. And he's just chasing
Okay.
209, and they just dub over all the lines like "Your move, creep," and he's just chasing him. Anyway, I'd give this movie a 6 out of 10. Making out or kissing, very an innocent kiss with your coworker, and then getting back to rat killing business. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Rat Stevens.
The Horror Deconstruction.